This is Elisa Moore of Spray Paint Art Secrets, and a lot of you have asked me, how do you draw an eye? Because you like to paint eyes with spray paint, and you can paint some way cool eyes with spray paint, and they actually sell really good. When you have an eye in your portfolio or on your display for when you're painting, people really notice it. They really tune in. It's like it's looking at them and they look back at it and they're drawn to you and to your work. So it's always good to have an eye or something with an eye in it in your paintings that you're selling or that you're displaying. But a lot of people who paint eyes with spray paint, I think, tend to paint just kind of an almond shape, and it's really not the most impactful way that you could paint an eye. So I have an amazing friend here. Her name is Wendy LaFay. She's a portrait artist. So she has some really great tips about eyes and how to think about them, how to think about the shading, how to think about the shape. So this is for all of you spray paint artists and any kind of artist that you are that want to learn more about how to paint eyes. So check it out. I know that a lot of you like to paint eyes and often aren't sure exactly where things go. So I thought I'd have her show you all the steps to drawing an eye, what all the parts of the eye. So here we go. Here's the eye. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to start by drawing the upper eyelid, and it's kind of something like that. This part is always a little bit darker because we've got the shadow. Here's the tear duct. You put that in there. And then, like, you think you want to go almond shaped, and equal, and that's really not how it is at all. So it's actually a little bit more kind of like that. And you can really, if you can really actually study someone's eye, then you're going to have this little fold here. And if you leave that out, it really doesn't look like an eye. So that part is pretty important. And then you also, another thing that people kind of want to do is make it just round or have like too small, and that's kind of weird. Usually when people's eyelid covers up the colored part, the iris, you might see some of the bottom, but usually the top of the circle is kind of covered up. And then if you imagine this being an actual circle, and then wherever in the middle of that is going to be the pupil. That's the dark part. Now you have to leave a little area that's going to be the highlight, and then you can color in. This is going to be black, because that's the hole where you actually see out of. Okay, so we can kind of darken that a little bit more. Adjust the shape a little bit. And then usually it's kind of this radiating pattern that changes with different people's eyes, have different patterns in there. So again, really stare into someone's eyes sometime and take a look at what that looks like. Usually this part here is a little bit darker, and depending on if you have someone with brown eyes or blue eyes, there's a little bit of variation. Some people have like this, maybe if they have green eyes, they might have a little bit of brown in the middle, and that can be really cool looking. You're going to see just a little bit of this edge of the eyelid, this bottom edge. And if you're doing highlights, again, really look at someone's eye, but you might have a little bit of like a glisten of a highlight right there. Okay, and the eyebrow is usually kind of something like this. People have different shapes of eyebrows. You don't really want to necessarily paint every single hair. That can look kind of weird. And I'm just going to kind of give a suggestion here without getting too involved with it. Eyelashes. I'm kind of drawing a female eye. Again, some people sort of want to like go all the way out. These ones on the outer edge are the longest and the ones that you see the most. And a lot of times you can almost just sort of, again, just suggest that rather than doing every individual one. You can have a few really light ones going this way. And you'll have a few, you almost kind of don't even see these lower ones quite as much. So the emphasis is mostly on these outer ones. And then if it's a woman with makeup, usually there's a little bit of eyeliner. You're also going to have a little bit of a shadow effect right under the eyelid. And that does actually continue on down to here. If you're coloring this in and not just doing a black and white sketch, this white part of the eye actually isn't very white at all. It's kind of grayish, almost a little bit bluish if you're mixing paint colors. And that's kind of interesting thing there.
So Wendy's a portrait artist and she's also a photographer. And her work has this particular quality that everything she does seems to have sort of an inner glow. It's all luminous, and I love that about her work. You should totally check it out at wendylefay.com. And the thing is, she's my pal, and we live in the same town, and I would really like to get her involved teaching you how to use spray paint art techniques to do the things that she knows how to do. So if you have an idea of something that you'd like somebody who has lots of skills as a fine artist and as a portrait artist to transfer to spray paint art or to adapt to spray paint art, email me at spraypaintartsecrets@gmail.com, and I'm going to show Wendy all your questions, and hopefully she'll get inspired to start filming some videos with me and teaching some more cool stuff. All right. Hope you've enjoyed this and that you learned how to do an eye. We have lots of eye videos in the membership area of spraypaintartsecrets.com. Most of them are in the gold membership area since we don't post eyes every month, but there's some cool stuff in there about how to paint eyes with spray paint art. But this video should really help you understand the parts of the eye so that when you're using your newspaper to draw the eye, you know exactly the parts that you're creating. All right, hope you've enjoyed. Ciao.